Hey everybody, thanks for watching. And just a quick reminder that Merkaba catalog is now available. So it will be available for 24 hours starting right now. Got a lot of emails from people, a lot of people asking that I post it for this weekend, but I'm going to post it for 24 hours right now. And if you want it, you better get it now because 24 hours, it's going to go down. 24 hours, get it right now. It's going to be the last time it's going to be up. It's going to go back to that price that it was. So, thanks to everybody who took advantage, and it's more than worth it. Of course, this is over, $2-3 grand worth of videos, and the time, like, let's not even get into all that. It's so much time, just years of work or what have you. Everything I put out, $89, $89.99, $90. So take advantage. You'll never see it again. I promise you that. So just to get you guys caught up and get people into a lot of the videos that I put out prior, a lot of the new people, it does come with the order to watch list, so you'll know where to start. But yeah, thanks for taking advantage of that. I want to get into this video because, a lot of you guys been hitting it up, and we talk about this a lot, especially me now. I live in Vegas. I live in LA, and being in Vegas, everybody's talking about Jon Gruden. So you guys know what I'm talking about, the Raiders head coach, and, email surfaced of over 7 years of him, racial, slurs or insensitive racial emails and transgender, homophobic, or what have you, all kinds of stuff. But, it's one of those things where you gotta understand. Of course, as Black people, we're going to look at it and say, well, we're not surprised. Of course, they are racist, so on and so forth. But you have to couple that with everything else. You got to look at the setup, and you got to look at, okay, we've been having this whole cancel culture for a while now. It's been an ongoing trend of people who say something and they're done. Roseanne. I mean, everybody was shocked that they cut Roseanne out of Roseanne. And nobody would think they would do that because of her, remarks. And now it's the Connors. And you have so many people who have said racial stuff. It's been happening over the years. And it's cut. And if you understand how they operate, it's always a long trail of something to justify something that's going to be real serious later on. So we're seeing this whole cancel culture. And what Jon Gruden said, of course, like everybody's saying, well, let's go back and look at all the emails from the executives he's been talking to. Let's look at the owners' emails. Guarantee you we're going to find the same stuff. We're going to see the same type of talk in most of the jobs you work at, or the NBA, basketball, baseball, football, doesn't matter. And you're going to see that because it's out there. Us, Black folks, we know. We be with our friends and we talk a lot of shit about white folks. We say all kinds of shit that to us we feel justified in saying because of, history. And it doesn't mean that we are racist against white folks. We're speaking the truth. And it is what it is. We supposedly have the freedom of speech. You're supposed to be able to say what you're saying and so on and so forth. But for somebody like him, and this is where, you look deeper. Somebody like Jon Gruden, you're talking about a rich white man who, Black people help you get to where you are. Minorities help you get to where you are. You have all this money and power. What the fuck is you worried about? Like, why would you say something like that? What is the point? Why would your feelings, or what are we doing to stop you from being rich and successful and powerful? What is it? Like, why would you even put that out there, being in a position that you are, and even say something like that? And it's crazy. But we've been seeing it happen with the baby. You see Dave Chappelle talk about it on his special, and then everybody's going crazy. Oh, cancel Dave Chappelle, which that's not going to happen. And we've been seeing it. And all of that is to get us prepared for the censorship, which we have been also seeing on YouTube and across the internet. And we see the algorithm and how powerful it is with Corona, because as soon as you type it in or say shots or what have you, they can actually put a link. They just jump right in and put a link on your shit or take it down. And if we have it to where we're on the internet, and we say a word and they can, use a program to search that word and put a link or a disclaimer or take down what we say, we don't have freedom of speech. That's crazy. That's preparing us for what's to come. Plain and simple. Censorship. It's something the President Biden has already been talking about. It's something it started with the Trump administration, and it's something that's coming, and we're seeing it more and more. Stuff being taken down. Even more so lately, like if I'm commenting back on Facebook or on Instagram, I leave a comment, just talking shit with my friends, like how we normally talk, calling them a funny name. Like Facebook will like, hey, do you sure you want to leave this comment? Or Instagram would be like, you want to leave this comment is in line with other comments we found insensitive or what have you. Reword your comment. You see it's happening. It's probably happened to you guys. We see what's coming because they're going to have to stop this information and the flow of it. It's one of the reasons why, again, I'm putting out everything. I'm putting out everything for everybody to get it now, because eventually that flow is going to stop and we don't know what type of censorship is going to take place or what's going to happen. So, freedom of speech, as we seen when my video was taken down and I was banned basically from posting videos for a week on YouTube, from saying stuff that's backed up by actual facts. So you got to put a disclaimer and warn people that, hey, this video is such and such, but we'll see how long that flies. But this whole thing is like where so many people are shocked and it's creating a lot of debates. People saying who's racist and so on and so forth. We know as black folks, come on, we've been through this. We know the racism is out there. And me personally, like even with the Colin Kaepernick thing, like I said, we don't know if that whole thing was a setup because it's real suspicious. But even still, I keep saying this, like we as black folks got to stop being bought. As long as we can be bought, they got us. They can say the most crazy thing they want to say to us and then pay us off and everything's fine. And we laugh and joke about it, but it's the truth. And here you have a chance for us to really, as black people, do something amazing and take a real stand against racism, and just to say that we're not going to tolerate this on any capacity. You have Colin Kaepernick, who's taking a knee. He took a knee against police brutality and against unarmed, innocent black people being killed by cops. And why would anybody protest this? And the rest of these fucking niggas stood their ass up with their hand over their heart and said, fuck that nigga. You had a couple people who took knees. Every black person or even mixed or what have you should have took a fucking knee when he took that knee to say what he was saying. And you had white people joining. We had white people across other sports joining. And we see with the marches, they marched. That was a chance to take power. Do you understand what would have happened if black people took a stand and just, we're not playing football no more till something gets done? This is what we talk about with economics and power, where we don't have any. And where now we have an opportunity where, despite us not having any, where we can force, legislation a different way, to where if they would have took a knee and be like, we're not doing this. And you know how much these white folks love football. If the, black college kids, we're not playing until something gets done. And then everybody follows suit that's black and in power. Everything change that quick. But these niggas can be bought. And it's always been the problem. They can be bought. Or, niggas just have their own opinion because they're ignorant about what's taking place. What was he saying that you could debate as a black person? You can disagree with how he chose to do it, but what other way could he do it to where he would get the kind of attention that he got? He took a knee during the national anthem, and, the national anthem that's written by a slave owner. And we know the second part of that whole song is talking about, glorifying the killing of slaves and controlling slaves. But we're supposed to, stand and, say this whole thing. And we have been doing so for a long time. And we still haven't gotten any type of justice or what have you. And we had a chance to do something about it. We didn't. So even still, it's one of those things where you can't just, pick one thing to speak against and just say, it was like the whole thing with Gucci. Everybody was like, oh, well, we're not wearing Gucci no more. Okay, well, we're not going to wear Gucci. We can't wear nothing else. If we're not going to use Dove because of racist ads or whoever, Gap or what have you, then we can't use nothing else, because all of these companies are owned by racist white folks who don't give a shit about us, who have said exactly what John Gruden was talking about in his emails, except for theirs haven't been put on blast like that. But we know it is what it is. And we choose to still follow this stuff and not support the up and coming black entrepreneurs who sell clothes and shoes or what have you, and, patronize them instead of these racist corporations. So you can't just, because something is trending, jump on that problem and say, I want to talk about this because everybody else talking about it. The argument with George Floyd and all the other killings of unarmed black people was, well, y'all don't protest when y'all kill each other. The crime rate in the black community is through the roof. Black on black crime is crazy high, especially in Philadelphia. And we're not marching for that. So it's like, it looks so, not genuine when we act like we care when a white cop kills a black person. Why don't we act like we care when a black person kills a black person? And as I said before, we understand the hood and what that's about. We understand how stuff work. They won't never really comprehend that, but there's truth to that. Now, as I said before, the cameras are just not there when we're marching about stop black on black crime. The cameras are not pointed there. So all of America don't see when you have marches, because I participated in a few, when we have whole marches and people walking with signs and people who is going through the community centers. And, we had the Pile in North Philly. And if you're from the Pile, from North Philly, you know about the Pile that's over there by 23rd and Berks, where Meek Mills and all of them grew up. Everybody went to the Pile. We played ball. We had, people at the Pile that it's a place for you to go after school. So you don't get caught up in a gang. You don't get caught up in any crazy stuff. You have somewhere to go and chill and meet people and be cool. And it was straight. We don't have stuff like that anymore. And mainstream media don't show that you have, clubs and you have people, black folks out here trying to give black people or black kids, young black boys or what have you, teenagers, a place to go after school to do something, but it's a problem due to lack of funding. And that's an issue. So the whole thinking behind it was, Powell the Police Athletic League, for those who are wondering or who may not know, but it's a place to go after school to either do your homework or, just chill away from being on the streets and around trouble. You're somewhere where you're going to be protected and everybody's cool and it's just there to get to know each other. And the whole thing behind it, if you have fun with these people there and get to know the people in your neighborhood, you're less likely to, get into any crazy activity with them out on the street. Stuff like that exists. Cameras are not pointed at that. Cameras are not pointed to all the marches and the peace on the streets and so on and so forth. So when they put out a story like this, or when people say stuff like, why don't we protest black on black crime? We do. You just don't see it. There's this thinking amongst, black athletes or what have you and they're taught this, they're told stay away from the hood, don't go back and be around people who you grew up with that's doing bad things. They're going to pull you in and get you in trouble. And that's true in a lot of cases. Everybody's going to just be asking you for money and have their hands out. And these athletes, when they're young, they take courses, how to manage their money. Basically, don't put money in here. Or, well, if you put a store in a black community, they're just going to rob it or break into it because you got money like that. You can afford to take care of it, so on and so forth. They really deter black entrepreneurs, black sports entrepreneurs, away from the black community that they came from, where they know what's going on there. And poverty is high and people need help. And it's the thinking that, black on black crime is high. If I go there, they don't really care about each other. So why should I? I made it out. I got my money. Let me go. But I can understand somebody knowing where they came from and knowing that it's a lot of people up to no good and you're cautious. But when you have an opportunity like this that I see to where we can really change things, we missed the ball. We dropped the ball on that because there is no promotion of this. You know what I'm saying? It's something that we haven't seen. We haven't never seen it before. And nobody's promoting it, something so huge as us just not playing no more. us just stopping and we not realizing how big of a deal that would be. So it's one of those things to where, if you're trying to go on strike at a job and you need change and you want to raise and y'all getting worked to death and people are content with what they got. But, you're like, well, wait a minute. If we all walk off the job, they need us. They're going to have to pay. And you got people that's like, I'm cool. Well, I don't want to risk it or what have you, no risk, no reward. And it's like, you have to really look at the opportunity was presented with Kaepernick and that whole situation. And then I feel like this is just another situation and the stuff that we keep going through as, black folks, that we got to continually deal with this racism, this racist thing. And it's something, as I said, they're going to use to just censor everything. Because to me, I don't agree, of course, with anything he said. If you read any of the emails or heard about what he was saying. But this whole, privacy thing and shit that's said in the manner of jokes or to stay in, let's just say, good terms with the person or to basically be a part of what you see is going on, regardless of how you really feel. It's a culture or atmosphere of a group of people you're around that you want to be around for whatever reason, and you need to participate in what's happening. It's a moral aspect to it, obviously. And it's a whole, nobody's going to believe that shit aspect as well. So you wouldn't jump into something this controversial and racist if that's not who you are. You must be a racist person. And then he's sending emails with a super high ranking person over there and the NFL. And it's like, this is obviously what they get together and talk about. And the way he's sending the emails in a way that it's just like easily, this is something we talk about all the time. And it goes back to my whole point of, for what? What the fuck? Y'all got everything. Y'all got millions. Y'all got whatever y'all want. What are y'all talking about this for? And this goes into the whole thing that we always been saying. It's slaves. A lot of people have pointed this out millions of times. It's the same way it was during slavery. Look at the combine. It's just picking slaves. They go ahead, nigga, run. Let's see how fast you can run. Let's see how high you can jump. Let's see how strong you are, nigga. I want you on my team. It's the same thing. It's just they paying these motherfuckers. But it's the same thing. And that's the problem. We always get it mixed up because we see white folks doing it. But white folks were slaves as well. But we see them doing it and we look at it, well, white people doing it, so it's fine. It's okay. But we got to stop putting ourselves in the same boat as them. But we not. And that's the thing people always say, well, we don't say that when white people do it. But white people listen to hip hop and they follow hip hop culture. No, they don't really. And no matter if they did, what they do is not going to affect them as a people or affect their economy. Just as simple. What we do affects us as a people and it affects our economy, the little economy that we have. So we can't put ourselves in that boat. But the fact that, and this is one of the reasons why the leaders had to go. We have no leaders to steer. All the leaders are bought off. We have no leaders to steer us in a direction when something like this happened and we could capitalize from it. Listen to the analysts and everybody that's on TV talking about this and how, not shocked or outraged they are, but it's just saddened and upset and they feel some type of way. But none of them niggas ain't quitting their job. Ain't nobody asking for something to be done or walk out or, take a knee, something. But it's just, it really goes back to everything that happened and everything that Colin Kaepernick was talking about and the whole point of the knee. And this is what, people are talking about in chat rooms, what have you right now. And there is, it's an understanding on a lot of people now that probably didn't have understanding before. I'm going to say white folks, because a lot of white folks are waking up to this fact. And they're seeing, this fucking country racist as hell. Because it's a lot of white folks that's been pointing out, well, how the hell the gays and the Asians get so much protection and just black folks still get nothing. How is this being ignored? Like, this is like, come on. It's just so obvious. How is it being ignored that LGBTQ laws passed, protection, they're being cared for and talked about? And Asians, they go through a few months of a couple random people doing something crazy when we had shit. We've been lynched, still being lynched. We got to go through all kinds of racist shit, cops killing us. They've been beat up a couple times, left alive, beat up for a couple months, here and there, by random stupid people. Whole big fucking movement. Laws passed, protect the Asians, stop Asian hate. Nobody stepped up and said, nah, stop all hate. Where that stop all hate crowd go? Where's that all lives matter crowd? No, stop Asian hate. No, stop all hate. Nobody said nothing. No, Asians matter. And we still, okay, let me just keep on dancing, boss. Nothing. Everybody takes the money. And that's the thing. They've been able to buy us off at every turn. Niggas don't care as long as they get paid, and they'll take the money and they'll brag about it. And it is what it is. But you can see where this whole thing is headed. This is part of a whole campaign about, censorship. And it's starting, it has started already. And they already, setting the stage. Don't talk about Dr. King. Don't talk about slavery. Don't make my white kid feel guilty about being white and feel like he's, a racist white kid, because he's white and his ancestors and people 5 days before him or 5 days ago said a bunch of racist shit and did a bunch of racist shit. Don't teach it no more in school. How are they just now coming to this conclusion? Tell you some calculated plan. How are they just now coming to the conclusion that, well, maybe we shouldn't be talking about Black History Month or talking about slavery, because if we teach that in school, because I thought they was really teaching that to the white kids in all white schools. They were teaching it, in black schools, of course, to make us feel inferior, to make us feel like something is wrong with us, to put in our minds moreover that we are less or under them, beneath them, to make us feel weak, to make us feel like we need to do something or improve ourselves or keep ourselves looking not like those people from back in the day. It's one of the reasons why Black folks didn't want to accept Africa. We hated the feed the kids, feed the children commercials. Oh, I'm not one of them. We hated the fact that everybody in Africa is seen as poor, something wrong with them. They just bones in their lip or what have you. I'm not African. I don't want to be attached to that. I don't want to be attached to being Black, period, because I don't want to be looked down at. I don't want to be, feeling like I'm out of place. So we've been changing our image, trying to change to fit their eyes and try to change to curry favor with these people and fit in. And that's the reason why they teach it. It's bullshit. They gave us a whole goddamn month. February, shortest month of the year, but they gave us a Black History Month to where now you got to keep reminding white kids and Black kids about what happened and that something is wrong and that there's racial tension or was racial tension between us, that stemmed from slavery. Oh, well, wait a minute. You mean slavery? You mean white people had Black people in slavery for hundreds of years? What'd they do to them? They burnt them alive and hung them, raped them, beat them to death, fed their babies to alligators. What the fuck is wrong with my race? What is wrong with these people? We need to do something to help Black people out to say that we're sorry. So, of course, none of that happens. And then now you have these teachings coming out, and now all of a sudden they want to just say, okay, we got to stop teaching this. So it's been happening across schools in America where they completely got rid of the whole, course or what have you, the curriculum of Black history and teaching what they taught. They want to teach you about, Benjamin Banneker and, George Washington Carver and stuff like that. And, the history is something that is going to be gone. And forget the whole whitewashing thing. just recent history is going to be gone. It's not going to be talked about. Things are going to change, and this is the direction that they headed towards as we can see it. But it's going to begin with censorship, and eventually, I know for a fact, a lot of stuff is going to be taken offline. It's going to be taken off YouTube, which, remember, it's a private company. They reserve the right to take down. They own everything you put up there. They own it. It's theirs. You agree to it when you upload it. You can have a copy of it or what have you, but they own it. And they can take it down whenever they want to. But eventually, stuff is going to be gone. You're not going to see it no more. And the information is going to be gone, because this is one of the reasons why, if you're a content creator, if you upload stuff to YouTube, one of the things they'll ask you is this for children? So they can know what category to put it in. If it's for kids, then it has to be fine. They know it's for kids. And then you have the stuff for adults. Okay, what is the stuff for adults? What is that about? Goes into a whole different section. And then if it's sensitive information, because you have to pass a rating too when you upload the video. Okay, is it going to be profanity? Are you talking about something insensitive? Are you showing any type of gore or what have you? Then it's put in another category. And based off of that, it doesn't matter anyway. We see when you say corona, how the algorithm pick it up. And then now they're automatically scanning through your video because you said that word or showed something that had to do with it. And then they scan through your video. And if they see something they don't like, your shit is taken down. There's already been so many channels completely taken down. A lot of videos have been taken down. A lot of stuff has been going on. And it's like I said before, what's going to happen. So any type of resistance is going to be a problem. You see how hard they're going with vaccinations, how they're pushing for it. So anybody talking against it, you see what happens. The internet is a problem. Social media is a problem, and they're going to work hard at censoring it and taking control of it. So if you watched my last DVDs, I told you guys about spatial, about Oculus Quest 2, how that's coming into play, and what you can do there with with spatial, the program, and how you can now invite people into like chat rooms and see a virtual, person and interact with them and talk to them and so on and so forth. As I said, we're heading in that way, which is more interactive than, texting. It's more social, even though it's virtual. And it's one of the things that they want to get a lot of traction, which is why, as I said before, it has nothing to do with fucking microchips. Like, come on. You think they're going to even bring out PlayStation 5 and Xbox if they didn't have enough microchips to produce enough for the masses? This is about getting Oculus Quest 2 in the hands of a lot of people, because they knew it would be overshadowed by the new gaming consoles. They want more people to pick this up because it's the feature. And once people start using it more and more, because you're going to see a version coming, they already tested it out with Sony, and you have the VR, what have you. They're already testing it out, and they're going to come with another version. I'm telling you now, even though they ain't say nothing yet, I know it's going to come. They're going to come with another version that's going to go with Xbox and PlayStation with the whole VR thing. And it's going to just basically give you more, basically turn those into what Oculus Quest 2 already is and make it more popular, because that's the direction they want to go. They want to go with augmented reality. They want to go with virtual reality because it's more easy. It's easier to control. It's easier to see what you're really into or what have you. So it's better for people to interact that way and, than text or what have you. But spatial will allow you to, set up conference calls with people and they're virtually there, what have you. And then you have augmented reality part of it, to where if they want to share with you a product or show you how a product is going to look, you can have it right in the palm of your hands with augmented reality. You'll be able to see what the new iPhone is going to look like and everything like that, and specs or what have you right there in front of your face with these new VRs that's going to be coming up. Trust me on that. So it's one of the reasons why I said you have to know what's happening and know what to invest in and know the direction that they're going. And it's clear and obvious. And like I said, if you've seen all the videos, you can see it's not hard to tell no more. But this thing right here and how we keep seeing it, and notice when we see trends like this, it always leads to something. It's always an issue. So we've been seeing, as I said, going back to Oscar Grant and, Trayvon Martin and what have you, what's been happening with this whole movement to divide and conquer. And everything that's been leading up to where we're at now, it's a continuing thing that we're seeing, to where we constantly just have to watch for what's next. And when you see stuff like this, it's like, what's next? So cancel culture, and everybody's talking about this and that, and it's getting too sensitive, and they're pushing censorship and so on and so forth. So mass shootings, and then, gun control and everything like that. So it's always an agenda behind it, and nobody should be shocked about what that man said. It's just messed up because, boy, he seemed like a cool dude. It just seemed like somebody that was, cool. But you never know with these people. It's obviously us against them. And it's like we chilling, and we always just be chilling. We minding our business, trying to live life, and then some shit like this happen. We see some racial shit that come on TV and breaks the whole, chill up, and now there's tension. Now they're talking about it. Then it's like, what's next? Then you have people who is, debating on this whole thing. Freedom of speech. Yeah, we can say that, because I know damn well if I want to say some shit that some would consider bad or what have you, I want to be able to say it freely. But when you in that capacity that he's in, you shouldn't be even thinking like that, especially when you set and you got no worries, and the people who you talking and spewing hate against put you there. So, John Gruden, he's basically done. You never gonna see this dude again. And if you watch football, if you know football, then you understand how big that is. Especially he's been around. Before he took the coaching job, he was commentating, and you had him basically have his quarterback room, to where he's in there with quarterbacks and just going through. Like, dude seemed like a genuinely cool dude, and those be the ones. And it's just one of the things we liked about the whole Trump thing was he exposed the real racist. And I know, because there's a lot of people who I thought was cool, that I realized these people racist. And yeah, I had to check a lot of white people on this whole thing, because I don't understand how you can side with somebody that has those kind of views and promoting the shit he was promoting. But that's one of the things we liked about it, because it's like, okay, yeah, now I know how you feel. Don't fuck with you like that no more. But then when you have somebody like him that, he's a coach. 70% of the NFL is black. How could you come to a place where you feel this type of way and deal with black people, so well, and then hide it so well? And it's like, well, damn, you can't trust nobody. You can't trust nobody. It is what it is. But again, it's one of those situations where you keep being bought off. Now understand, if you're following the story, you know that the players, this is why they lost to the Bears. Bears came out here and bust their ass. So the players already knew about the racial shit, the racist stuff. Some of the emails, they knew already before the game. So a lot of people were saying, well, before the game, nobody was on the same page, because they already knew what he had said. And of course, it's going to weigh heavy on you as a player. Like, damn, like, I know he's going to get fired, or he's going to have to quit. What's going to happen to the team? Or the whole time I'm hugging this dude and high-fiving him, he don't like me because I'm black. And it was crazy. And it wasn't in sync. They lost that game. But would have walked out. I don't care. That's my whole point. Like, we can be bought too easily. And that's the reason why they keep us in poverty, so we can be bought off that easy. That's the whole point. You have this whole pot of poor black folks that's looking for a way out. You sell them the military route, or they go the sports route, or the entertainment, acting, musician route. But all those routes lead to, roads that you control, destinations that you control, to head to an outcome that you control, or an overall agenda. So the ways out of that pool of poverty, we have none of our own that's leading black folks to where, places that can benefit us as a whole. But they have all the avenues and roads. They go in there and they pull out, the best. And you become a whatever, athlete, actor, doctor, lawyer, what have you. All of it is going to benefit them and not us as a whole. And then when we leave, we don't do nothing to, get everybody out there whole and benefit us as a whole. So it's a crazy situation. And it's understandable how people can sell off money because ignorance, one, and just people not wanting to be in poverty. But that's one of the reasons why I said, you know, in my last DVDs, how it's hopeless. Can't win because as long as they can buy us off, as long as we're separated by religion and just stupid, ignorant responses and information that lead us down wrong paths, as long as we separate about all this, they win. And again, like us not having leaders or somebody that has a platform big enough to bring attention to stuff like this and to call for black athletes to protest and walk out, call for black people on the job to walk out, and let's all together say we're not doing shit until this changes. Nothing's going to change, and it's because we just it's a me society, and they have brainwashed us into not seeing value in our lives, especially as a whole, to where we could very easily change things around, but we won't because of that. And unless it's trending, unless it's made popular, we won't jump on it. There's very few genuine people out there that would do something that goes against the norm, that's unpopular, and that will have a lot of people down their throat, and they would just stand on what they believe is right against popularity or what's trending or what have you. Because people want to be in the know, and that's one of the things that social media provides, is for you to be in the know, for you to be a part of the trend, for you to post something that's cool or do something that's cool, or try to get favor from your friends or what have you, strangers. And that's what we all following. So we don't even see how opportunities present themselves for us to get out of our current situation and actually have some sort of platform or get something done that would benefit us, as a whole, or have a platform for us as a whole, because we don't. Like, we letting hip hop represent us as a whole. That's basically our platforms to hip hop culture. And in case you don't know that, but that's what it is. And you look at what it talks about, and how could you want that to represent us as a whole? And it does. That's the problem. But yeah, I want to talk about this because a lot of people send me emails, me being here, on my thoughts on the whole thing. And yeah, not surprised at all. One, it's just, now I don't put nothing past none of them, or past nobody for that matter. But it's just shocking in the fact that he was so stupid to be using sending something through company emails or what have you, or just saying something like how could you be that dumb to put something electronically in your position, knowing the type of technology that we have that's out there, for you to put something like that out there through emails, and who knows what he gonna come out and say. He did release a statement, but it's bullshit. But dude is done. He's not going to be able to coach nowhere. I mean, who knows? Like, the next time you probably hear about him is when he died. I mean, if they even say something about that, but he's done. Like, he's destroyed himself with this shit. And the way the media is bashing him, I mean, you would think he was a nigga. The way they killing him, I mean, it's everywhere. And they're getting all the black sports athlete commentators to come out and voice their opinion, and they saying profound, nice stuff, and it's adding to the whole thing. It's going towards their agenda. It's something I got into in previous videos, but we'll get into it more. But don't look at it as anything else but smoke and mirrors. It's for a reason, and it's leading towards an agenda that they already predetermined. So it is what it is on that. But just wanted to touch on that for a second, and remind you guys that was asking and sent the emails about the Merkaba catalog. That, listen, I said 24 hours, the clock has been ticking. You want to grab it, go ahead and grab it. It's more than worth it. It will not ever, I'm telling you, bullshit you not, it's not going to happen again. It's not. It's ridiculous for me to even do this, but I'm trying to be fair to people who knew, and people who just really can't afford to buy everything and don't know where to begin. Me trying to help out. As I said, it's not about the money. I don't need it. And it's just about the time and, people who are serious, because that's who I'm appealing to. You, serious person that took the time and made it to this part of the video to the end. You ain't skipped. You watched the whole thing. People who really trying to get information. That's who I'm appealing to. If you're serious about this shit, then you will spend money. And that's the point about the money. For the time, one, and just for people who are serious, because I don't want to be wasting my time with people who bullshitting. And that's why a lot of people don't respect what's out here online and a lot of the information out here, because it's free. And I've been putting out free videos for a long time, and it's like some of the more deeper videos. So for those who always ask that question, if you want to know, the more deeper information, of course, is in the DVDs. The stuff I can't put out, of course, because it'll be taken down, censored, or what have you, that's where they are. So take advantage of the sale while it's still up there. And yeah, thank you guys for taking the time to watch. See you next video.